Hi, my name's Giles Tomkins, and welcome to this week's Edmonton Opera Happy Hour. As you can see, I've laid out my choice of drink for happy hour, and it's a beer. In fact, it's 3 beers. And it's a little flight, in fact, kind of a short-haul flight, I guess you'd say. Maybe an Edmonton to Calgary flight, perhaps? Regardless, this first one is a red lager. And in normal flights, they usually start off with the lightest beer, so you're often drinking kind of a blonde lager, and most people know what a blonde lager tastes like. It's very refreshing. It's great for a hot day, so I thought we'd just skip to some of the more tasty beers. Personal bias, of course. This is the red lager, and I'll just have a little sip for you now. Okay, very smooth still, but there's a very toasted barley flavor almost, and you can kind of taste the caramel hints with it. It's a lovely beer, and it's still very, very smooth. Some food pairings with your red lager. I think any sort of barbecue food would go great with this. Something chicken off the grill, or perhaps a veggie burger. You can do a lot of nice pairings with that red leaf lager. It's a versatile beer. Moving along to the second beer is my personal favorite, is the IPA, the India Pale Ale. Little side note about IPAs. They're originally transported from India to England a long time ago, and in order to create the freshness when it arrived in England, they put extra hops in the beer. So IPAs are very, very hoppy. I think this one is about a 6.2% beer, so it's still a strong beer, but some of the IPAs now go up to 8 or 9%, which is too much. This one is a 6.2. Let's try it. Okay, delicious. So I find with IPAs, at least a lot of them now, they're a little bit hazy in texture, although this one's clearer than some of them I've seen. They're quite hoppy, but also there's a lot of citrus flavor in as well. So you can taste oranges, a little bit of pineapple maybe some mango, and it's a lovely beer. In terms of pairings, I think you could pair it with some appetizers, perhaps some seafood, like maybe calamari. It would go great with nachos, and also some spicy foods. I think you could have an IPA with a really nice curry or jalapenos. So it's very drinkable, and it's also my favorite. And our third beer is your porter. And now this is a chocolate porter, so let's give this one a try. It's quite dark, as you can see. Almost looks like black coffee. Okay, this is a very, very good beer. It's smooth, lots of chocolate flavor. You can even taste a hint of coffee in it as well. It's kind of a great dessert beer. I find if you're going to finish a meal, you could pair this with a chocolate cake perhaps, or an ice cream sundae. But also I find with the porters and even some of the stouts, they go great with kind of traditional pub food. So your shepherd's pie, or your rack of lamb, or Sunday roast, you can have a really nice porter or stout with. So this is kind of my mini flight. Thanks for listening. So I've been at home now since about the middle of March. I was involved in a production of Carmen with the Manitoba Opera before we were shut down because of COVID. So I've been home with my wife Kate and our son Benjamin, who's 5, going on 6. He'll be 6 in about a month now. And we have lots of good days, and then we have what we like to call our challenging days. But the good days far outweigh the challenging ones, so let's leave it at that. As you can see, there's lots to keep me busy here, including this Star Wars Lego structure that Benjamin and I built together. This one is called the Escape from the Death Star, and it's quite a complex model, and in fact he put most of it together himself. I may have helped a little bit, being a Star Wars fan and all. I don't know if you can see through the beer. I'll move this. But this is, here's Luke, and here's Leia. And in this particularly iconic scene from episode 4, A New Hope, they come through the door here, and Luke mistakenly fires, and this door that leads to the other side suddenly falls out. So they have to swing. Luke throws up a rope and they both swing to the other side into safety and then back to the Millennium Falcon. So Ben and I had a great time putting this together. He's also been doing lots of drawing. Here's one of his creations. Now this is a scene from Winnie the Pooh, and it features a Baxen character, which of course Owl entirely made up. The note said he'd be back soon, which Owl interpreted as Christopher Robin was taken by the Baxen. And so this is his dramatic interpretation of the Baxen. I think you can see Tigger, and I think that's Piglet. Anyway. And of course, Ben's in French immersion, so we're helping him along with his French, or to the best of our ability anyway. Great. Now, there's also lots of music making going on in our house. My wife, Kate, is a brilliant pianist, and we're fortunate enough to have a piano here, and we've been reading through a lot of various types of music, some music theater. I've been reading through Kurt Weill, even Les Mis, and of course the vast array of art song repertoire, lieder, melody, and then English song. We've put a couple of our read-throughs on YouTube. And also looking ahead to various projects that we both have in the hopefully not too distant future. So it's been keeping us quite busy here at home. So this upcoming production of Così fan tutte will actually be my 5th production with Edmonton Opera. My first was Lucia di Lammermoor in 2015, and I came back for 2 productions in the 16-17 year, singing Timur in Puccini's Turandot, and then again in Strauss's Electra, and finally La Traviata in 2018, that lovely Alain Gauthier directed production, which is making its way to various opera companies around Canada. What am I most looking forward to about coming back to Edmonton? I don't even know where to start. Edmonton is one of my favorite places to travel to and sing. Well, first of all, it's an amazing community. The company is so strong, and they have such great leadership and make you feel at home the whole time you're there as a visiting artist. There are so many great places to eat and socialize. There's places on White Ave, The Next Act, and Meat are 2 of my favorites. Beer Revolution, of course. And then even the Urban Diner has great brunch. So there's so many things I'm looking forward to. Oh, and Duchess Bakery. How could I forget Duchess Bakery? Bit of a foodie. And to top it all off, I'm so graciously hosted by a family that is kind of my home away from home. They're my second parents. I've known them since the early 90s, when probably my best friend and I sang in the Toronto Children's Chorus together. And they moved to Edmonton close to, 10 or 15 years ago now. And every time I've sung with the company, they so graciously host me. And I feel very fortunate to have them in the beautiful city of Edmonton. So Mozart's Così fan tutte, with a libretto by Lorenzo da Ponte. It was his 3rd piece written with da Ponte. The previous 2 are Marriage of Figaro and Don Giovanni. Boy, what are audiences in store for? They're in store for a very entertaining night at the opera, with some of the most glorious music ever written by Mozart. I play the conniving Don Alfonso. I was fortunate to play him once before. I was far too young at the time. I think I was 27, but I sang it at the Tanglewood Festival in Massachusetts. Alfonso, not that he has to be very old, but he has to be older than the group of lovers. So there are 2 sets of lovers, and Alfonso plays a little trick on them. And there's an element that he's sort of mean-spirited, but I think it goes beyond that. I think he's very wise, but I think he derives a lot of pleasure out of just being sort of the puppet master. And he's pulling the strings, and he's creating his own entertainment for the troupe. And he just wants to see where the lovers will end up at the end of the day. But of course, he's pretty sure he's right, and that they will not be faithful to each other, as the lovers so say at the beginning that they will absolutely be faithful to their loves. So there is an element of mean-spiritedness about it, but I think he takes pleasure from wanting to win the bet, and from being the master of ceremonies, really. And of course, he couldn't do it without Despina, his feisty sidekick, who helps him plot the necessary scenarios in which he will trick the lovers into thinking that the other one is falling for the other. I'm so looking forward to singing with this amazing cast that Edmonton Opera has assembled. Some of Canada's finest singers, Jennifer Tavener, Stephanie Trichu, Caitlin Wood, Asita Tenekun, and Clarence Fraser. I'm just so looking forward to creating this story with each of them. And in terms of the musical numbers, I cannot wait to sing the Soave si al vento trio. It is just one of the most glorious moments in the entire operatic repertoire. And you kind of just get to stand there and sing beautiful music with two sopranos, and it just doesn't get any better than that. So thank you, Edmonton Opera, for having me back next year, and I look forward to singing Don Alfonso in next year's production of Mozart's Così fan tutte, and I hope to see you there at the theater. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Cheers.